Hi, I sure have missed you. I'm so glad you're here today with me. I have some very, very special things planned for the videos today. So don't leave. Just keep watching and you'll see what the surprise is in part 2 of the video. We are starting to talk about habitats. Do you know what a habitat is? Well, let's say it together. Habitat. Will you say it again? Habitat. It's kind of a funny word. It means a place where certain animals and plants live. It usually has some things that are different, like the temperature, whether it's hot or cold, what kind of plants grow there. A lot of them include different types of animals, different types of plants, different kinds of land. Some have mountains, some don't have any mountains, some have a lot of water, some don't have any water. So we're going to be thinking about different habitats all over our planet, our beautiful planet Earth. So I have this special map that's going to help us. And we're pretending that we're cutting our Earth into half and then rolling it out. This is what our map looks like. So it's not our globe, that's a circle. It's gonna be a map like this. So I colored the ocean part. Do you see the blue? This is the ocean part. And I have these red lines for what we're talking about today. We're talking about the habitats that are above these red lines and below these red lines. These are called the Arctic areas. So we have the North Pole and the South Pole. Those are the very top and the very bottom of our Earth. That's where we're going to start. And these are the coldest parts, or the coldest habitats. And it's called the Arctic habitats. So we're gonna think about if there's any plants that grow in these areas, what kind of plants grow there, if there's any animals that live there, and what else? What about the land or the ice that's there? We're gonna learn about those things. Up here at the top of the north part of our planet Earth, there's no land. It's actually just frozen ice that floats on top of the water that can be as thick as 10 feet. That's way taller than your dad. This is the South Pole, and Antarctica is the continent or the country. And it does have land, but it has way more snow and ice than the North Pole, than the north part of our world. The South Pole has up to 9,000 feet of ice and snow. Whew, 9,000 feet. So that's a lot more than the North Pole has. So I have this cool airplane. See this airplane? Because we're going to be traveling to different places in our world. And we're going to be starting in places like the North Pole and Antarctica. So here we go. I want you to put your bags on the airplane. I want you to put your seatbelt on because we're about to take off. And here we go. Ready? Are you ready? It's gonna be fun. Did you pack a coat? Because it's gonna be cold. Here is where we are, right here. This is Utah, and this is America. This is America, this green one right here is America. We're flying up to the North Pole, or the north part of our world. Here we go, getting in our airplane. This is called the Arctic Circle. These countries like Canada, above America, Alaska, that's part of America, Greenland, this is Greenland, Russia, these parts are in the Arctic Circle. This is where it's really cold and really, really icy. So we're gonna fly there and visit those. And these parts, in those areas, there's Arctic foxes. One cool thing about the Arctic fox is it's the only animal that travels up farthest north into the coldest regions of these parts of the country, hunting and trying to find food. Reindeer, polar bears, narwhals, different kinds of seals like the leopard seal, walruses. What do you think it would be like to visit the Arctic Circle? So those areas have different types of animals, and not as many people live there. There's not as many cities or towns. They're really small towns if they are there. And the animals that live there, they have to adapt. Adapt means change to their environment. Because it's so cold, there's certain things about them. Like polar bears have white fur, but guess what's underneath that fur? Dark skin. And the fur that looks white is actually clear or see-through or translucent. And it's that way so that when the sun does shine, it can go through the fur, and the sun is attracted to the black of their skin. And so it makes them warmer. It heats them up that way. But their fur is also a way to camouflage them. What does camouflage mean? Like hiding them, right? So when they're hunting or finding food, they can be camouflaged because of their white fur, because there's snow everywhere, snow and ice, and they're hunting in it. The same with the Arctic fox and the snow owl. Their white feathers and white fur help them hide so that they can be better hunters and they can find things, and that's how they survive, that's how they eat. And so what do you think would be different about living there? Do you think you'd want to go to the beach? There would be a lot of ice at the beach. Probably wouldn't be very fun to swim at the beach. Do you think you could go outside and go swimming or jump through the sprinklers if you lived there? Probably not. So think about how different it would be to live in the Arctic, and the animals that live there, how they're different. And they have to be different to be able to survive living in that kind of environment, in that kind of habitat. Here we go, down to the South Pole. Here, we made it. Here's the South Pole, also called Antarctica. It's the southern part of our world. There are some differences in what animals live up here on the north side of our planet Earth in the Arctic Circle, and animals that live down here in the South Pole, or the south part in Antarctica. It's colder in Antarctica. So the animals that live in Antarctica here are animals like penguins, leopard seals, albatrosses, which are birds that have the longest wingspan in the world, krill, which are little tiny fish that live in the ocean that whales eat, orca whales or killer whales, and blue whales also live there. And blue whales are the largest animal in the world. Did you know that blue whales can be as long as 85 feet long? That's way longer than a school bus. That's like 3 school buses put together. If you stacked up 3 school buses and put them in a row, that's about as long as a blue whale. And guess how much a blue whale weighs? 100 up to 120 tons. Whew, that is so big. That is the biggest animal on our Earth. So what do you think? Do you think the Arctic habitats have pretty cool animals? Do you think you would like to live there? I think my favorite Arctic animal is the orca whale. I love the orca whale. I think it's a really cool animal. And I don't know if you've ever been to SeaWorld. Have you ever been to SeaWorld? They have orca whales there that people actually can stand on top of them while they do tricks. And when I was little, I wanted to grow up and work at SeaWorld and ride on top of a orca whale. That was my dream. What do you think? What's your favorite Arctic animal? Is it the Arctic fox? Is it penguins? Is it the narwhal with the tusk? It's like a unicorn horn, but it's called a tusk. Thanks for learning about Arctic animals with me. I had fun. Our paper today is the alphabet. So we're kind of reviewing the alphabet letters. We're gonna be cutting and gluing and tracing the inside of these letters. Here we go.
For this paper, you will need some scissors, some glue, and some markers. So I hope you have some of those things.
We're gonna start by cutting out these letters. So I have these letters and they have little lines right here. I'm gonna cut on the line like this, making sure I'm holding my scissors the right way. My thumb is in the smaller circle, my fingers are in the bigger circle. Okay, I'm done with cutting. Now I'm going to get my letters and find the matching letters on my white piece of paper. This is where I'm going to need my glue. I take the lid off my glue and we're going to get started. What's this letter? C. Oh, right there. I put a circle of glue on the white paper and then I stick on my matching letter. I'm going to do it again until all my letters are done. So I want you to think about gluing them on, finding the matching letter, and making the sound like A, and Annie apple. Try doing that. See if you can do it. Might be tricky. Now we're going to use our markers to trace these letters like this. Good job. Okay, we're going to turn our paper over and we're going to practice our name. Remember, our name has an uppercase letter, then it has lowercase letters. Remember, your name is not going to say teacher. If you want, you can practice saying writing teacher, but this says teacher. I want you to practice your name. Remember, it needs to have an uppercase letter. So we're going to write your name 3 times. Here we go. You can do it different colors if you want. You could even do it rainbow if you want. I know a lot of you like to write your name in rainbow. Good job. Thank you for helping me.